The pick is in.
With the number 26 pick, the Atlanta Falcons select James Pearce, edge from Tennessee, presented by LinkedIn. Here to break this down with me, it is Aaron Freeman, the host of Locked On Falcons. Aaron, the Falcons had a pick earlier in the draft. They decide they were not done. They wanted to move up and pick again. Hefty haul the Falcons gave up for James Pearce. Let's start with that. How did you like the package that Atlanta gave up? Because the Rams, they wanted some draft capital to move back, and Atlanta certainly gave it to them.
Yeah, the Falcons only had 5 picks going into the draft, so I did not expect the Falcons to trade up because they needed to trade down to get more than 5 picks given some of their holes. But giving up a future first is certainly going to be something that is going to be a little questionable just because there's a little bit of pressure on Raheem Morris, the head coach, and general manager Terry Fontenot. And are they on the hot seat? If the team does not win this season, 7 years without a winning record, are they going to be out? And did they just trade the next general manager's potential first-round pick? So that's going to be the question. But it's a big, bold move for the Atlanta Falcons to double dip at edge. They double dipped at quarterback last year. I guess this is just the Terry Fontenot MO to just, hey, we got a problem. We're going to take 2 swings at it and hope that at least we hit a home run with one of them. And, things are looking up for Michael Penix. So I think, things are looking potentially positive for them to hit at least on one of these edge rushers in round 1.
Yeah, well, James Pearce, Aaron, certainly one of the more controversial players in this draft. Talent sky high, through the roof, potential through the roof. Obviously, some off-field concerns that I'm sure some teams might have had him off of their board. Atlanta clearly feels confident enough to trade all this capital to move up and get him. What is your take on James Pearce and what he can bring to Atlanta? And do you think that the risk is worth it that Atlanta took here?
I don't know, Kevin, if the risk is worth it. That's where I am at with James Pearce, because you see the talent, you see the tools, and then you hear all the things, behind the scenes. His Tennessee coaching staff apparently didn't necessarily love him and felt like he was kind of checked out this year. Maybe reading some of the press clippings from, last summer where he was projected to be potentially the number 1 overall pick in this draft class. And then you watch the film this past year and you see again the flashes of that ability that made people think that he could be one of the best pass rushers in this draft class. But then you also see some inconsistency in this game. And is that due to that sort of checked out ability? But he's going to be playing alongside another rookie that has A++ character. And so maybe the Falcons are hoping in Jalen Walker that, some of that ability rubs off via osmosis for James Pearce Jr. And he knows that he's going to have to come in here and work his tail off if he's going to get on the field, because they got another guy in that room that is also here to hunt the quarterback.
Well, we know not a lot of picks left for Atlanta at this current juncture after this. I mean, where are you on the Falcons roster right now? And how do you think that the Falcons can maximize their remaining draft picks to really help bolster out the remaining parts of what they need?
Yeah, right now they have a 3rd round pick, a 4th round pick, and a 7th round pick. They got still some holes to plug on defense. We'll see if they use that on defense. There's been a lot of talk that maybe they'll go offensive tackle, but they can use as much help as possible on the defensive side of the ball in the secondary. That position that they seemingly, hopefully, have solved their pass rush needs at this point in time with 2 big swings of the bat. But yeah, I'm hoping in the 3rd round that maybe they can get some cornerback help, because that was also a problem area for this football team. Not as problematic as the pass rush, but still an area that needs a significant upgrade.
For continuing coverage of the Atlanta Falcons, subscribe to Locked On Falcons wherever you get your podcasts. And for more on James Pearce, let's hear from Locked On Vols, who spent a lot of time covering James Pearce up close.
James Pearce Jr. is a really solid football player in the making. Hey, I'm Eric Kane, host of Locked On Vols, and what an NFL team is getting in James Pearce Jr. is a guy that's got quick twitch, tons and tons of athletic ability, and a guy that's getting better at defending the run from the edge, setting the edge, forcing everything back inside. But again, he is a pass rushing specialist. His stats speak for themselves at the University of Tennessee, and he'll work on being a pass rushing specialist in the NFL to being a 3-down football player. He's a bit of a project, but the athletic ability speaks for itself. That is James Pearce Jr. For more on James Pearce Jr. and any Tennessee prospect, check out Locked On Vols wherever you get your podcast.